Okay, I bought this exmark. I'm gonna see see if it's gonna start. It's been set in about 5 years. So, all right, I put the choke on. Let's see. Okay, I did put new gas in it, so, and I was told when they parked it, it ran. So, and it is running a little rich. It's got 2,000 hours on it. So I'm gonna buy a new carburetor for it, but it runs. So please like and subscribe. All right, I'm gonna show you how to change oil in a exmark zero turn riding lawnmower, which it's a 1/2 inch socket, and you can see there's no tubes that goes down in the hole here, which when you drain it you can change it sort of, you know, buy you a piece of pipe or whatever it takes to go into there to go to here. You could ask any dealership, they'll do it for you. But I'm going to have to drain this. It's going to go all over the place, which that's why I got all kinds of rags down on the ground. You see, it's going to make a big mess. I hate dealing with mowers like this when they don't have the tubes that you can direct into it. So that's why I'm going to show you why I'm going to do what I'm doing. So obviously it's... I'm going to check the drain plug out and let it drain. And it's going to make a big old mess. And I know it will. Something like this always does. And normally I'll change them out and put a tube with a 90. Sure, don't dump all over everything. Which now it's starting to drain. And you can see it all. It's draining all over the place. And that's why it needs a tube put on it. And this is why I always do a tube to put onto it. And all the customers like it. But I'm not doing this one this time. I'm going to change the filter out here in a minute. And I'll show you that. Alright, I'm going to take the oil filter off, which it was tighter than you know what. So, you're only supposed to hand tighten these filters on when you put a new one on. So I struggled getting it off a little bit. As you see, the filter's bent. It was tightened too much. And you see the oil coming out of the filter. So we're going to let that set and drain. You definitely want to let it drain. This thing's been setting out. You see, oil is not supposed to be that color. The only time that it's that color is when it has water in the system. So you see that. So that's why I'm going to let it set there and drain really good. Then I'll put the new filter on. Which it don't hurt it. The oil still protects it a lot, but it's not a good idea to have water in your system. That's why I'm changing this one out. It's been setting for 5 years or better. Alright, it's sitting there draining right now. You can see, to let you know how you know there's water, obviously you see there's water in there, and you see when oil is milky looking like that, there's water in the system. So, I already took the oil filter off, which that was a lot of it. It had a lot of water in it. Now, to do a new one, this gasket, take new oil, put your finger on in the oil and lube around. If you don't, it doesn't normally seal right. Definitely want to do that. I dump a little bit of oil in it to help flush things out. There's not a lot of water, but it helps. I'm going to dump a little oil down where you put the oil. It helps flush the water and everything out. As you see, I've done a little bit already. It's really helping out, flushing the water out. It's water oil mixture, and it's starting to, you see it's coming out. And I'm just flushing out with the oil. Best way to do it, so you know they're not destroying anything. All right, I'm gonna put the oil filter back on. Which, take oil, rub your gasket. See how shiny it is? You want oil on it so it don't spin and break. I'll run it for an hour, and I'm going to change the oil and oil filter again to get rid of more of the water. Kind of tight because obviously there's some lines right here. And when you go put your oil filter on, you want it hand tight. That's all you want. And if you think your hand ain't tight enough, then do the wrench. But I'm telling you, if you overdo it, it will leak. Once that's done, mine's tightened up there enough. I know my own strength. I'm going to put the drain plug back in. If you have water in your oil, obviously you need to start leaving your mower inside the building. Because eventually you're going to destroy your mower doing that. Water is not a very good thing to be inside of it, but I flushed this one out. It's been sitting for 5 years, so that's why I had water and oil a little bit. That's all you gotta do is flush it out. Alright, the oil is normally 1030 or 530 oil. You can do either or. We're going to dump it in there. And usually it's 1.5 quarts of oil. I should have put a funnel on there. So I'm making a big mess. That's alright. I have everything underneath right now that I catch it all. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this mower. Run it for about 2 hours or better. And then I'm going to drain the oil again in the oil filter. Change it all out. Then you know you got the water out there if there's any. You know, you want to make sure you're safe with that because you don't want water in your system. Because it can mess it up really bad. Alright, it was 1 3/4. Which you want to, when you do your oil, put it in there. I always go higher than what it says. Which is about right here. So when you go start it, when it takes the oil in the filter, it's going to bring it about right there. So it's going to be perfect then. You always add a little more. Don't add too much, but you know, you're better to have a little more than too less. So please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Alright, I'm going to start it up. You put oil in the oil filter. You want to run it for about 30 seconds or better. So where the oil gets in the oil filter, and then check it. Check your oil and see where it's at. Wipe it off. And obviously I need more oil. You see where it's at. Alright, it probably took about 2 quarts of oil. And that's better off to use a funnel so you don't get all the oil all over the place. So I changed the oil. Everything's good on it now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.